Hello friends, my name is Suresh S. Bujari. I am working as assistant professor in Agadi Engineering College, Lakshmeshwara. Today I want to take a session on hydraulic circuits and its design. This concept is already studied in the subject known as fluid power system that you have already studied in 7th semester mechanical engineering. Once again, the same syllabus is mentioned in the additive manufacturing subject for 8th semester mechanical engineering. So, in this session, I want to cover some of the concepts regarding hydraulics and pneumatics and its corresponding circuits. Before going in detail about the hydraulics and pneumatic circuits, little bit I want to refresh the concept of hydraulics and pneumatics. Hydro stands for oil or water. Earlier it was believed that the power can be generated by using only the two sources. One is from electrical source and another one is from mechanical source. And after that, it was found to known that the power is also present in another media, which is nothing but hydraulics and pneumatics. That means the oil is having a certain amount of power and water is also having a certain amount of power. The air which is present, that is also having a huge amount of power when it is compressed condition. Therefore, the technology has developed in such a manner that the oil is considered as a source of energy and water is considered as a source of energy, and also air is considered as a source of energy, and the power is generated by considering the energy coming from these media, that is oil, water and air. Therefore, later a new technology was developed that we are calling it as a hydraulics, in which the source of energy is coming out from the hydro and the various works can be performed by the power generated from the oil and water. Here we are not much more bothered about the water due to its so many drawbacks, but oil is considered as a very important source of energy in the field of hydraulics. Like that, in the pneumatics also, the air which is available in the at the surrounding is also considered as a rich source of energy, but it is true when that air is get compressed and it is stored in the compressor. Okay, keeping in mind the basic concepts of this hydraulics and pneumatics, I want to cover some of the hydraulic circuits in this today's session. Hydraulic circuits can be broadly classified as single acting hydraulic circuit, double acting hydraulic circuit, regenerative circuit, cylinder sequencing circuit, meter in and meter out circuit, cylinder synchronizing circuit, so on. So many hydraulic circuits are available, and according to that we are getting a different functions and different the works as a output. In this today's session, I want to take the first hydraulic circuit as for our study, that is single acting hydraulic circuit. This is a single acting hydraulic circuit. See, in order to draw any hydraulic circuit, we need the tank. This is a tank. Okay, these are all symbolic representation. This is a tank, and this tank is nominated, or it is recognized by this symbol by capital T, and this tank is interconnected to the another the device known as filter. Okay, this is a tank and this is a filter and this is a pump. Okay, and that pump is interconnected with a motor, because motor and pumps are always working together. The power is coming to the motor and motor shaft is rotating, therefore the pump is making its function. Okay, like that the pump and the motor are always working in conjunction. Okay, this is the pump is again connected to the valve. Here this is the controlling element and that valve is in turn connected to the cylinder. What idea? And here this valve we are calling it as 3x2 pedal operated solenoid controlled direction control valve. Direction control valve is that valve which is controlling the direction of the fluid flow. Okay, if the valve is used for controlling the pressure, then we are calling that valve as a pressure control valve. If valve is used for controlling the flow of the liquid or flow of the fluid, then that valve we are calling it as a flow control valve. But here we are using this valve for changing the path of the fluid flow. That's why this valve we are calling it as a direction control valve. Okay, this is a circuit shown in a single cylinder diagram. Okay, whenever we are seeing this single cylinder diagram, here the spring is used. Okay, and see, once again I will explain about the constructional diagram. The tank is there, which is denoted by a letter capital T, and the filter is connected to the tank. The outlet of the filter is connected to the pump. Pump is operating with the help of the motor, and the outlet of the pump is connected to the 3x2 pedal operated solenoid controlled direction control valve, and the inlet and outlet of the cylinders are connected to this direction control valve. Here this is called as pressure relief valve. Whenever the amount of the pressure is more than that of the working pressure, this pressure relief valve is making its function to relieve the extra amount of the pressure from the circuit. Thereby it will protect the circuit from the danger. Therefore, pressure relief valve is always working as a safety valve. Therefore, if at all any safety is required, it is better to connect this pressure relief valve wherever required. Okay, this is all about the constructional diagram of single acting cylinder. Now I will explain how this single acting cylinder is making its function. First of all, switch on that circuit. Okay, whenever switching on the circuit, okay, the power is coming. The power here means the electrical power is coming to the motor shaft, and due to that electrical power, that motor shaft is rotating. Therefore, the pump is also making its function. Here the pump is making its function means pumping action takes place. Pumping action means here the almost vacuum is created due to the movement of the piston from one end to another end. Okay, maybe from the bottom dead center to the top dead center, or the top dead center to the bottom dead center. Due to the movement of the piston, the pump is exhibiting a property of a vacuum. Due to that creation of the vacuum, the fluid is sucked from the tank. Okay, therefore, the amount of the fluid is sucked from the tank and it is moving into the filter. Okay, here the filtering action takes place. As the name itself indicates, the filtering action means if at all any unwanted particles such as dust particles, such as contaminated particles, okay, if at all any unwanted particles are present in the fluid, those unwanted particles are blocked in the filter only. Therefore, whatever the fluid is coming out from the filter, okay, it is free from dust particle and contaminated particles. Okay, thus obtained the clean fluid is entering into the pump, and here the pumping action takes place, and therefore the displacement of the fluid takes place at the exit of the pump, okay, with a certain pressure. Okay, therefore the pressurized fluid which is coming out from the pump is made to flow into the first envelope of the direction control valve. First envelope of the direction control means it is like this. It is connected to like this. Okay, got the idea? Therefore, this point we are calling it as a P point, and this point we are calling it as a point. Therefore, P stands for the pump line, A stands for the supply line. Okay, and it is connected like this. Initially it is connected like this. Means the pressurized fluid which is coming out from the pump is going into the pump line and exiting from the service line, okay, from the point A and entering into the piston area of the cylinder. Okay, the cylinder is having two areas. One is called as a piston area, another one we are calling it as a rod area. This is called as piston area and this is called as rod area. Okay, therefore it is clear that the piston, at the left side of the piston there is no rod and this is a piston area and it is bigger in size, and at the right side the rod is there and it is capturing certain area which is called as a rod area. Naturally, the piston area, if it is considered as a and rod area it is considered as a B, the area of the piston area is always more than that of the area of the rod area. Okay, rod. Here coming to the fluid path here, the pressurized fluid is entering into the piston area of the cylinder. Therefore, certain amount of the pressure is created on the surface of the piston. Therefore, due to the application of the pressure, the piston is moving in a forward direction. Okay, this is called as a extension. Therefore, extension means the forward movement of the piston, okay, is known as extension. Okay, in this way, this extension itself we are calling it as the output, and it can be connected to any work, and the same work can be obtained in various areas like lift mechanism and Whitworth quick return motion mechanism and in material handling mechanism, like that. Okay, got the idea? Okay, this is about the movement of the piston in a forward direction. But what will happen, okay, once that piston is reached to the dead end state? Okay, here the piston is reached at the dead end state. During this condition, the spring which is connected at the rod side is get contracted, expanded, and it is always willing to contract whenever the time permits. Therefore, as long as the fluid pressure is present at the piston side, the extension takes place, and the dead end state is reached, that fluid pressure goes on decreasing slowly, and whenever the fluid pressure goes on decreasing slowly due to the spring action, the piston is moving in a reverse direction. Therefore, the piston is moving into the reverse direction, which we are calling it as a retraction. Therefore, the retraction means movement of the piston at the backward direction, whereas extension means the movement of the piston at the forward direction. Okay, here one point is very much clear, that the forward movement of the piston is possible due to the fluid pressure, whereas the backward movement of the piston is possible only due to the action of the spring. Therefore, we are calling this a circuit as a single acting circuit. Got the idea? Okay, therefore the cylinder is acting, only at the single side by getting the fluid pressure, and during the backward direction or during the retraction condition, the fluid pressure is not required at all. Therefore, such type of the circuit in which the movement of the piston is possible only at one direction due to the fluid pressure, and during second direction movement the fluid pressure is not required, that is called as a single acting cylinder. Friends, this single acting cylinder, hope it is clear. Okay, keeping in mind the basic concept of this single acting cylinder, I want to explain another very important the circuit in hydraulics, that is double acting cylinder. This circuit diagram will give you the idea about the double acting cylinder. Only